Quiet, asshole, I tell Tender. No, he just can't shut up. Now he's going on about the horsehair. All right, no help for it then. Stop, I tell Kirill. He stops immediately. Quick reaction. Good man. I take Tender by the shoulder, turn him towards me, and smack him hard on his visor. He slams nose first into the glass, poor guy, closes his eyes, and shuts up. And as soon as he quiets down, I hear crack, crack, crack. Crack, crack, crack. Kirill is looking at me, jaws clenched, teeth bared. I hold up my hand. Don't move. For God's sake, please don't move. But he also hears the crackling and, just like any novice, feels the need to immediately do something. Go back, he whispers. I desperately shake my head and wave my fist right in his visor. Cut that out. For God's sakes, you never know which way to look with these novices, at the zone or at them. And here my mind goes blank. Over the pile of ancient trash, over the colorful rags and broken glass, drifts a tremor, a vibration, just like the hot air above the tin roof at noon. It floats over the mound and continues, cuts across our path right beside a marker, lingers over the road, waits for half a second, or am I just imagining that, and slithers into the field, over the bushes, over the rotten fences, toward the old car graveyard. Damn these eggheads. A great job they did. Ran their road down here amid the junk. And I'm a smart one myself. What on earth was I thinking while mooning over their stupid map? Go on at low speed, I tell Kirill. What was that? God knows. It came and went, thank God. And shut up, please. Right now you aren't a person, got it? Right now you are a machine. My steering wheel, a lever. At this moment, I realize that I might be getting a case of verbal diarrhea myself. That's it, I say, not another word. Damn, I need a drink. What I'd give to take out my flask, unscrew the lid slowly, deliberately put it to my mouth and tilt my head back so it could pour right in. Then swirl the liquor around and take another swig. I tell you, these spec suits are a piece of shit. I've lived for years without a spec suit, Lord knows, and plan to live for many more. But not having a drink at a time like this? Well, enough of that. The wind seems to have died down and there are no suspicious noises. All we hear is the engine humming steadily and sleepily. Meanwhile, the sun is shining, the heat is pressing down. There's a haze above the garage. Everything seems fine. The markers are floating by us one by one. Tender's silent, Kirill's silent. They are learning, the novices. Don't worry, guys. Even in the zone you can breathe if you know how. And here's the 27th marker. A metal pole with the red 27 on it. Kirill looks at me, I nod at him, and our boot stops. The fun and games are over. Now the most important thing is to stay completely calm. We're in no hurry. There's no wind and the visibility is good. Over there's the ditch where the slug kicked the bucket. You can make out something colorful in it, maybe some clothes of his. He was a lousy guy, rest his soul, greedy, stupid, and dirty. That's the only kind that get mixed up with the vulture. Those the vulture brewerage spots a mile away and gets his claws into. Although, to be fair, the zone doesn't give a damn who the good guys and the bad guys are, and it turns out we gotta thank you, Slug. You were an idiot, and no one even remembers your name, but you did show us smarter folks where not to go. Okay. The best thing, of course, would be to get to the pavement. The pavement's flat, you can see everything, and I know that crevice in it. Except I don't like those mounds. If we head straight to the pavement, we have to cross right between them. There they stand, smirking and waiting for us. No, I'm not going between the two of you. That's the stalker's second commandment. It has to be clear for 100 paces, either to your left or to your right. Now what we could do is go over the left mound, although I have no idea what's behind it. According to the map, there's nothing there. But who trusts maps? Listen, Red, whispers Kirill. Let's jump, eh? 50 feet up and then right back down, and there we'll be at the garage, eh? Quiet, you, I say. Just leave me alone right now. Up, he says. And what if something gets you at that height? They won't even be able to find the pieces. Or maybe there's a bug trap around here. Never mind the pieces, there'll be nothing left at all. These risk takers really get me. He doesn't like waiting, you see, so let's jump. In any case, it's clear how to get to the mound, and we'll figure the rest out from there. I slip my hand into my pocket and pull out a handful of nuts and bolts. I put them on the palm of my hand, show them to Kirill and say, remember the story of Hansel and Gretel? Read it in school? Well, here we'll have that in reverse. Look. And I throw the first nut. It flies a short way like I intended and lands about 25 feet away. The nut goes fine. Did you see that? I ask. So? He says. Don't so me, I'm asking you. Did you see that? Yeah, I did. Now, Take our boot over to that nut at low speed and stop 6 feet in front of it. Got it? Got it. You looking for graviconcentrates? Never you mind what I'm looking for. Give me a second. I want to throw another one. Watch where it falls, then don't take your eyes off it. I throw another nut. Naturally, this one also goes fine and lands just ahead of the first one. Go ahead, I say. He starts the boot. His face has become completely calm. You can tell he's figured everything out. They are all like that, the eggheads. The most important thing for them is to come up with a name. Until he comes up with one, you feel really sorry for him. He looks so lost. But when he finds a label like graviconcentrate, he thinks he's figured it all out and perks right up. We pass the first nut, then the second and third. Tender keeps sighing, shifting from one foot to the other and yawning nervously with a slight whimper. He's suffering, the poor guy. It's all right. This will probably do him good. He'll take 10 pounds off today. This is better than any diet. I throw the fourth nut. It doesn't go quite right. I can't explain it, but I feel it in my gut. Something's off. I immediately grab Kirill's hand. Stop, I say. Don't move an inch. I take the fifth nut and throw it farther and higher. There it is, the bug trap. The nut goes up all right and starts going down fine, but halfway down it looks like somebody tugged it off to the side, pulling it so hard that it goes right into the clay and disappears. Ever see that? I whisper. Only in the movies, he says, straining forward so far he almost falls off the boot. Throw one more, eh? Jesus, one more? As if one would be enough. Lord, these scientists. Anyway, I throw out 8 more nuts until I figure out the shape of the trap. To be honest, I could have managed with 7, but I throw one especially for him, right into the center so he can properly admire his graviconcentrate. It smashes into the clay as if it were a 10-pound weight instead of a nut, then goes right out of sight, leaving only a hole in the ground. He even grunts with pleasure. All right, I say, we've had our fun, but that's enough. Look over here. I'm throwing one out to show the way. Don't take your eyes off it. Anyway, we go around the bug trap and climb to the top of the mound. It's a puny little mound. I've never even noticed it until today. Right, okay, so we're hanging above the mound. The pavement is a stone's throw away, at most 20 paces from here. Everything's visible. You can make out every blade of grass, every little crack in the ground. It ought to be smooth sailing from here. Just throw the nut and get on with it. I can't throw the nut. I don't understand what's happening to me, but I just can't force myself to throw it. What is it? Says Kirill. Why did we stop here? Wait, I say. Just be quiet, for God's sake. All right, I think. Now we'll throw the nut. Nothing to it. We'll glide right by, won't disturb a single blade of grass. Half a minute and there's the pavement. And suddenly I break into an awful sweat. Some even gets into my eyes, and I know right then I won't be throwing a nut in that direction. To our left? Sure, as many as you like. That route is longer and the stones over there look suspicious, but it'll have to do. I just can't throw a nut in front of us. And so I throw one to our left. Kirill doesn't say a thing, just turns the boot, drives it over to the nut, and only then looks at me. I must look pretty bad since he immediately looks away. Don't worry, I say. You can't always take the straight path. And I throw the last nut onto the pavement. Things get easier now. I find my crack in the pavement, which still looks good, isn't overgrown with weeds and hasn't changed color. I feel happy just looking at it. And it takes us all the way to the gates of the garage better than any markers. I order Kirill to take us down to 5 feet and I lie on my stomach and peer into the open gates. At first I can't see a thing, just darkness, but then my eyes adjust and I see that the garage seems unchanged. The dump truck is standing over the pit, just like before, in great shape without any rust holes or spots. And the stuff on the floor around it also looks the same. That's probably because there isn't much hell slime in the pit and it hasn't splashed out since my last visit. Only one thing worries me. Something silver is sparkling at the back of the garage, near the canisters. That wasn't there before. Well, alright, let it sparkle. We aren't going back just because of that. It's not even sparkling in an unusual way, just a tiny bit, mildly and almost gently. I get up, dust myself off, and look around. Ah, and here are the trucks parked on the lot, really just like new. Since I've last been here, they've gotten even newer, while the gasoline tanker, poor thing, is now completely rusted through and about to fall apart. And there's the tire lying beside the gates that you can see on their map.